Every tale we weave springs from the lives around us, shaped by moments we've witnessed or endured. We offer new stories each day, hoping they strike a chord. Thank you for being here. She handed me a simple white box, unadorned by festive wrapping, her expression cold and distant, a look I'd grown familiar with in recent months. This is for you, dear, she said, her tone as flat as if she were passing me a shopping receipt. I stood near the kitchen counter, having just finished preparing dinner. Seared steak, smooth mashed potatoes, and crisp broccoli, meals she once adored. I opened the box carefully. Inside was a pristine manila envelope, my name, Ethan Carter, printed with sharp clarity. I sensed its contents before lifting the flap, but I opened it anyway, gently, as if uncovering a buried scar. Divorce papers. No forewarning, no conversation. Just the documents. I looked into her eyes. This is a joke, isn't it? Her reply was icy. I don't jest about things like this. I nodded once, no shouting, no trembling, just stared at the envelope as my stomach twisted. The scent of warm food hung in the air, the TV droned softly, and the weight of a crumbling marriage bore down through that thin folder. She sat across the counter, arms crossed, her phone face down nearby. She didn't touch it, didn't flinch. This seemed the cleanest way, she said. We've both felt this coming. I thought presenting it as a gift might ease the sting. A gift? I repeated, holding the envelope as if it were something lifeless. Her face remained unyielding. Ethan, I can't keep pretending I'm happy. I can't force smiles during dinners or wake up beside someone who's stuck. There it was, stuck. She continued. I've said it before, I need more. More passion, more growth, more fire. I want to feel alive again. I deserve that. I glanced around the kitchen, shelves I'd built myself, a refrigerator I'd paid off over months, a home we'd constructed bit by bit, penny by penny. This was your best way to tell me? I asked. I wanted it to be memorable, straightforward. No arguments, no games, she replied. I paused. Who gave you that idea? A slight twitch crossed her face before she rolled her eyes. You always distort things. That's why we're here. You never take anything seriously. I turned, hands resting on the counter, fingers brushing the granite I'd installed when she wanted a modern kitchen. I thought of the overtime I'd worked to buy this house, the lunches I'd packed for her without a word of gratitude. This wasn't sudden, she said from behind. I've been thinking about it for months. I just waited for the right moment. A Tuesday steak dinner was her right moment? I faced her, this woman I'd loved for 6 years, who once laughed until tears fell at my silly car noises, who called me her refuge. Now she was a stranger, gripping her phone, perhaps waiting for a message or call. You're involved with someone, I said, not questioning. Her eyes flicked up, a brief flash of guilt. Then she shook her head. That's not why, but it's part of it. Silence settled. I deserve joy, she said, softer now. I need a new beginning. You're too comfortable. I want someone who pushes, who wants more from life. You're content just being. I want to flourish. I let out a sharp, bitter laugh. You married a man with calloused hands and work boots? And now you want a suit with a sleek car and a gym fixation. She shrugged. Maybe I picked wrong. Maybe we both did. No regret, no apology, just a quiet confidence in her choice. I've already signed, she added. Just sign your name and it's done. I flipped to the last page. Her signature, Clara Bennett Carter, precise and perfect. I closed the box. You'll have your signature, I said. Her eyes studied me, expecting a break, a plea, or a fight, but I offered nothing. I'll pack a bag and stay at Sarah's for a few days, she said, standing. I'll collect my things next week. No need, I replied. I'll have them packed by Friday. Pick them up and leave. She seemed surprised by my composure. Inside, I was shattering, but outwardly, I was unyielding. Nothing more to say? She asked. I met her gaze. I'll speak when the time's right. She didn't like that. She lingered at the door, then left. The doors clicked like a thunderclap. The silence that followed was overwhelming. I sat at the table, staring at the box, poured a glass of wine I didn't drink, and let the food cool. The candle flickered out. I slept on the couch that night, not because the bed held her memory, but because the couch was honest. It was exactly what it seemed. At 3 a.m., I woke in a fog, wandering the house barefoot, studying photos. Our first vacation, our old dog, her graduation. Then I faced the mirror, truly seeing myself, a man underestimated. By her, by myself, perhaps by everyone. I wasn't flashy or loud, but I wasn't broken. She thought she knew me, saw me as a simple laborer with small dreams. What she didn't know was I had more than ambition. I had a secret, and I was ready to reveal what she'd discarded. Clara viewed me as the safe choice, dependable but unexciting, steady but not brilliant. She had no idea the man signing those papers without hesitation was worth $8.4 million. A truth I'd carefully hidden. 5 years ago, when my father died, I inherited his legacy, businesses, real estate, investments, all of it. He wasn't a public figure, just a reserved man running industrial supply companies across Colorado and Utah. We never lived like magnates. He taught me early. Wealth alters how people perceive you, masks their true intentions. I held that lesson tight. When the estate lawyer called, I drove 2 hours to Grand Junction in my old truck, wearing jeans and boots, without Clara. She was at brunch with her sister, brushing off the meeting as probably nothing important. She never asked about it later, never noticed the folder in my glove box or questioned my calls with Michael, my operations manager. I didn't share details, already sensing her dissatisfaction. I made her life comfortable, paid off her student loans secretly, bought her a laptop I claimed was on sale, donated $10,000 anonymously to her mother's charity. She never noticed, always craving more. To her, I was the man in worn jackets, packing his own lunch, uninterested in her social circle. She didn't know I owned 5 warehouses, ran a construction company supplying half the labor in 2 counties. I overheard her call me, the most average guy in Colorado, once, through the bathroom vent. I smiled. Average is unnoticed, and unnoticed is powerful. People reveal themselves when they think you're insignificant. I began noting her words. Every mention of money, other men, comparisons to glitzier lives. Why not live downtown? She'd say, or Lisa's husband took her to Napa. Each time she said, I need someone with bigger dreams, I recorded it. She thought I was drifting. I was observing her, testing her. I wore no designer labels, drove a battered 2009 Ford, paid cash, kept my social media blank. My lawyer and accountant followed my rule. Keep my name off everything. I wanted love for myself, not my wealth. Clara failed that test entirely. The first hint came 2 years into our marriage, at a friend's engagement party. A finance broker talked stocks, and Clara was captivated by his every word. Later, she asked why I couldn't speak like that. I didn't need to. I'd already built my wealth debt-free, with properties and investments. I didn't flaunt it. She wanted dazzle, not depth. When she handed me those papers like a present, I thought, you're returning a golden ticket. She mistook my silence for fragility, my restraint for indifference. But quiet men aren't weak, they're patient. Holding those papers, I understood her completely, and I could act with certainty. The next day, I called my legal team, securing every asset. The prenup she'd barely glanced at 4 years ago protected my businesses, properties, everything. She'd get the minimum, her clothes, some furniture, a used car. Even the house was in a trust, untouchable. She'd leave with little, unaware of it all. I didn't plan to gloat or humiliate her. I'd let the silence speak. I moved out within a week, hiring a small crew from my company to take my belongings to a luxury high-rise I owned in Denver. No mortgage, fully mine. Unit 41B, corner suite, Italian tile, city views, the kind of place she'd dreamed of. I arrived with a duffel bag, a suit, and a plan to show her what she'd lost, without a word. I changed my appearance. Crisp haircut, tailored clothes, not for show, but to embrace my true self. I felt liberated, no one demanding I be bolder, flashier. I led boardroom meetings, drove an Escalade to sites, let my workers see the real me. I didn't brag or post online, just showed up differently and people noticed. 3 weeks later, Clara's sister Emily texted, "You coming to Uncle Tom's dinner? Clara will be there." I replied, "Wouldn't miss it." I didn't sleep much the night before, not from nerves, but because I knew the moment I walked in, everything would change. This wasn't about spite. I wanted her to see the truth quietly. At the dinner, I arrived in a tailored charcoal suit, no tie, calm and collected. Clara's uncle greeted me warmly. "Damn, Ethan, you look polished." The room, filled with her family and friends, hushed as I entered. I nodded, sat by the window, quiet but present. Then Clara walked in, all curls and heels, laughing until she saw me. She froze, eyes scanning me like I was a stranger. I wasn't smug, just untouchable. "Ethan," she said, hesitant. "Evening, Clara," I replied, offering nothing more. She forced a smile. "You look different." "I feel different," I said. Emily chimed in. "He's owning it now, huh?" Clara looked puzzled. "What?" Emily continued. "Ethan's been killing it. Spoke at the Denver Development Summit, blew everyone away. Didn't you see?" Clara's eyes darted to me. "You're doing keynotes now?" I shrugged. "Just contributing to some panels. Staying busy." The realization hit her slowly, tightening her posture, settling in her expression. I'd moved on upward. Later, she pulled me outside. "You look incredible. You've changed." "I just stopped hiding," I said. She blinked. "This is the real you." I stayed silent. "I thought you were fine where you were," she said. I met her gaze. "I never said I didn't want more. I just didn't think I had to prove it." She softened. "Did I mess up?" I didn't waver. "You chose what aligned with your values. I chose mine." "I didn't know," she whispered. "If you'd known, you'd have stayed for the wrong reasons," I said. "That's why I kept it hidden." She tried to laugh, but it faltered. "What now?" I smiled. "I live my life. You live yours." No anger, no tears, just silence louder than any words. I went back inside, ate dessert, thanked the family, and left. Clara stayed on the porch, staring as I drove away. I didn't look back. Revenge isn't loud. It's letting them see you thrive after they've lost you. 2 days later, Clara texted. "Can we meet? I need to talk." I left it unread, not out of malice, but to let her feel the weight of her decision. She tried again. "Please, just 5 minutes. No arguments." Still, I gave her nothing. She needed to sit with the image of me walking away, composed and untouchable. The next weekend, I attended a charity gala, a scene I'd once avoided. Now I walked in with ease, tenants greeted me, organizers knew my name. Clara showed up with a friend, nervous, overdressed, scanning the room. When she saw me, her face froze. I passed her without a word, her friend confused, Clara silent but watching. Later, a staff member handed me a note in her handwriting. "Ethan, I see you now. I'm sorry. Please give me a chance to explain." I tore it and slipped it into my pocket. Let her feel the weight of discarding me. Her texts grew desperate. "I was wrong. You didn't deserve this. You look so confident now. I'm breaking." "Are you seeing someone?" That last one stopped me. I'd met Sophie at a seminar, a lawyer, sharp, genuine, no games. She liked me for me, not my wealth. I told her about Clara, and she said, "Let her want. That's not your burden anymore." One afternoon, Sophie and I were at a bookstore cafe, laughing when Clara walked in. She froze, hands trembling, pretending to scroll her phone but watching us. That night she texted, "You looked happy today." It crushed me. I keep thinking about what I threw away. I didn't reply. A week later, she appeared at my office, pacing the lobby, eyes red. I let her wait, then stepped out. "Ethan, can we talk?" she pleaded. "You've said enough," I replied. "I made a mistake." "You made a choice," I corrected. "You knew me. You just thought it wasn't enough." Her voice broke. "I didn't mean to hurt you. You didn't hurt me, Clara. You showed me who you are and I'm grateful." Tears welled. "Is there any chance?" I looked at her. No, I walked back to my office. She didn't follow. Weeks passed without texts or visits. She finally understood. I wasn't punishing her. I'd simply moved on. Revenge isn't loud. It's peace, silence, letting them see you were the prize too late. It's been over a year since that white box. Clara thought she was leaving a mundane life for something greater, not realizing I'd let her go long before. Her apologies weren't love. They were regret for what she'd lost. I didn't need to ruin her. I just kept thriving. I wasn't new. I was always this man, now free to grow. My business expanded. I took on new contracts, mentored young entrepreneurs, not for recognition but because it felt right. Sophie and I stayed strong, cooking, laughing, real. At a small Boulder dinner party, I saw Clara again, alone, weary, scrolling to escape. I didn't approach, just sat with Sophie. Later, Clara texted, "You looked happy. I missed the real you." I didn't reply. That real me was always there, she just didn't see it. I've found peace, no hate, just clarity. I bought a cabin in Aspen, a quiet retreat with Sophie, where we unplug and just be. She once asked if I think of Clara. Sometimes, I admitted. Not because I miss her, but because she taught me peace is priceless, loyalty isn't a test, and you believe people's values the first time. Clara chased sparkle, not substance, and now she's alone in quiet rooms, wondering how she lost it all without a fight. I didn't break her. She broke herself. I'm not bitter. I'm better, living a life so full that even those who doubted me watch from the sidelines, wishing they'd stayed.